Welcome to my Contracts 2 exam strategy for spring 2020. Early morning, going to take it this evening at 6 p.m. So I wanted to give you my strategies, my step-by-step, and how I'm going to approach each question, attack it, and get the best results, baby. Let's go. Let's do this. Now, because of the coronavirus pandemic, all law schools around the nation, across the world, schools period, are doing exams online, take home for spring 2020. So I want to say this at the outset for people watching this later or in the future. For 1Ls, it's going to be very, very rare where a Contracts 2 exam or any 1L exam period is going to be take home or online, depending on the circumstances. They're always going to be in-class exams. So the strategy that I'm using for this take-home exam, so to say, is tailored to me taking it at home. So some of the strategies are going to be different than from me taking an in-class exam, but some of it will apply to in-class exams. This is something that I've just been working on for the past 3 years, tried and true methods, and revamping this and revising it using my experience from last semester, my first semester back into law school, and how I did on the exams. So now I'm just updating my strategies and trying a different approach this semester, and let's see if they work. So here we go. Number 1, having extreme awareness and hustle on timing on the exam, which is very, very crucial. This is a 3-hour exam. 3 hours goes by very, very fast if we are not aware and if we're just not on top of our timing. We can be in the middle of it and we have 5 minutes left. The practice say 5 minutes left. Oh my God, 5 minutes. So from the jump, we need to have a strategy that governs our timing. So for this test, it's going to be multiple choice only because my professor right now in this coronavirus pandemic is enduring some extreme conditions with himself and his family right now. My thoughts and prayers go out to him and his family. He's a freaking legendary professor. It's not my business to share his business on YouTube, but I'll just keep it at that. So for last semester, it was 50 multiple choice questions, and there was one essay, and that essay was like a 3-page fact pattern. But he eliminated the essay for this semester because of his circumstances right now. And doing a multiple choice exam, he essentially doesn't have to grade it. The computer does it for him. So, hey, we got to adjust to the times, and multiple choice is all we have. So I'm going to anticipate it being 50 multiple choice questions. If it's more, then I'll adjust. But the strategy I'm going to use for this is answering a certain amount of questions within a 30-minute period. I'm not a mathematician, but 3 hours, there's 6 30-minute period segments within 3 hours. So thought to myself, okay, did the calculation. I need to answer 9 questions per 30 minutes, and 9 times 6 is 54, but 8 times 6 is 48, so I just rounded up to 9. So I need to do 9 questions within 30 minutes, and I'm going to have my phone right beside me because I'm taking it at home. I'm going to put it on airplane mode, and I'm going to have the countdown timer, put it on 30 minutes, and then when it buzzes, that means, okay, my 30 minutes is up, and I start the next 30 minutes. So if I finish 9 questions before the 30 minutes, okay, I need to go back, make sure I answered them correctly, and any ones that I may have skipped, I need to go back to them versus waiting to the end and come right back to it. I need to maximize that 30 minutes. And this is all going to depend on how long the fact patterns are and whatnot. So I just got to, be aware and adjust when I need to. But I think this is going to be a strategy that's going to work. And 9 minutes, or not 9 minutes, 9 questions, 30 minutes, And then the next 30 minutes, 18, and then the next 27, and so forth. It's going to be very crucial. Last semester, I spent like 2 hours on the multiple choice, and then I only spent like an hour on the essay, which cost me my grade, a hit on my grade, because I didn't spend too much time on the essay as I should. I should have split it up an hour and a half, but all good. We're going to try this and see if it works. Next, number 2, read the call of the question first. And I have 3 examples, multiple choice examples, that I'm going to show you to just give you an example of how I'm going to approach it. Reading the call of the question first is going to allow us to know what we need to do before we read the fact pattern versus how we've been conditioned to do test-taking strategies. Majority of us, maybe not all of us, but we've been kind of taught to just jump right into the paragraph, then go to the question, then go to the answers. No, we want to start with the call of the question first. What are we looking for in the fact pattern? And with that, number 3, play lawyer or judge in each fact pattern. I'm going to show you an example of this. I believe this mentality is going to help us not just be mere students on the exam, but rather we are actual lawyers advocating for a side or defending a side, or we're a judge deciding which side wins based on the rule of law. So we're a lawyer. Every question, we have a client that is paying us a whole bunch of money to advocate or defend them. And we're making this real to ourselves, simulating ourselves, because this is our profession. This is what we want to do. So we had to be in this mentality always, and not just like, oh, we're just law students, just taking this test. Like, nah, this is actual training that we are doing right now. And this is going to train us for the bar exam as well. So with that, I'm going to show you my examples with this. There's one example, reading the call the question first. So reading the call the question first, I know, okay, Jack against Diane, which of the following would be Diane's best defense? I need to play the lawyer. I'm defending Diane. So, hey, Jack probably wants some money. Then I need to defend Diane to say, hey, nah, you can't get your money, dude. And hey, Diane's paying me a whole bunch of money. I gotta resolve the issues. This is what being a lawyer is all about, resolving the issues. Next, it's another example. Reading the call of question first. Businessman, family, they're duking it out. Who can obtain an order of specific performance? Okay, so I know already I'm looking for a specific performance in the fact pattern. But in this, I know that they're going against each other, so I need to play the judge. So which side, this would be which side should win based on rule of law, not which should have proved this, but all good. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So with that, I already know I need to play the judge before reading the fact pattern. Next, what are the builder's expectation damages under the restatement? So I already know I need to play the lawyer, advocate for the builder. I need to get them as much money as possible in reading this fact pattern. I need to maximize. So I already know, hey, this ain't gonna be it. I need to try to maximize them within the rule of law. You can't get the most amount. It depends on what the rule of law says. So with that, quickly find the key facts at issue in each fact pattern and eliminate irrelevant or misleading facts. So for this example, I'm gonna read everything that's in here, but not everything in here are key facts at issue. I need to just underline whatever is at issue. And when we're reading it, we read enough of fact patterns, situations, and what goes wrong or who doesn't do what, who owes money. We already know, and then we see some key things in there. Already know announcement to be satisfactory, and reading the rest of this, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'm like, okay, satisfaction clause, and I just underline it. And all this other stuff is contextual, but we don't really need it. So we need to not really pay attention to it, more so to say read it, but we need to hone in on what's important. Next, before going to the answer choices, number 5, quickly write down the rule of law, UCC, or common law, which UCC, sale of goods, common law, performance, or service that governs the issue in each fact pattern. So within each fact pattern that we read, even in the cases that we read in class, there's a rule of law that governs the issue. So when reading this, as I said, I already know this has to deal with the satisfaction clause for a condition precedent. So I wrote the rule of law already. So I already know, writing it out. Now I can apply it. We can't just read this and then go down here without knowing the rule of law. This is not, middle school, high school, undergraduate, where we just read it and just like automatically this is a step-by-step thing we need to do. And the rule of law is going to help us answer questions and then apply the key facts. So with that, simultaneously applying the rule of law to the key facts of the issue in the fact pattern and the answer choices. So again, I need to know the rule of law. And now that I know the rule of law, then I can defend Diane. Now that I know, okay, condition present is not met, therefore performance is excused. It must be in good faith and reason to satisfy excused performance. So defending her, I need to say, okay, she was not satisfied. It doesn't matter if it was objectively unsatisfactory. It doesn't matter if it's 2 days late. It doesn't matter lack of consideration. It just matters that she wasn't satisfied. And therefore, hey, Jack, you can't get Diane's money. I get her money because I'm defending her. Boom. Same thing here. What's the rule of law for specific performance? One cannot get specific performance against an individual. Pretty much one cannot order specific performance for personal services. So I already know, as the judge, playing the judge, which side should win. It's going to be neither the businessman nor the family. So, they're both duking it out, and it's like one side wants to win, the other side wants to win. But as a judge, I'm like, nah, none of y'all can win because this is the rule of law. It is what it is. All right. Number 7, calculating damages. Complete my own calculation on paper and match my answer with the correct option. So it's the last example. I have expectation damages. So this is the formula. I'm not going to go into the formula, but it's just essentially in the fact pattern, plug in those numbers into this equation, and boom, this is the amount of expectation damages that the builder can get. And this is what I, as the lawyer, am advocating for the builder in this. So I can eliminate all of these choices. So within this, have to know, making sure that, because sometimes the answer choices, or let me say the rule of law it's not so pretty. So sometimes it's not going to satisfy the rule of law or the element, depending on the question. So there's different strategies that we have to use. Couldn't really go into all the strategy. I don't want to make this like an hour video, but these are just examples that I wanted to kind of show you. And number 8, using outlines sparingly. So I have my outlines that I'm going to quickly share with you. This is my in-class outlines. It's like 15 pages. I'm not gonna go through all of it. This is what I'm gonna be testing on. So if I don't know a specific rule of law, I can refer back to my notes. But don't want to refer back to my notes too much, because it can be a time cruncher and trying to find it. I mean, I pretty much know where everything is, but that's why we gotta memorize it and just know it so that we can keep it rolling from question to question. And here's another 2-column. This is the actual rule of law, and then here are the defenses. So we need to play the lawyer for both sides, not just one side saying, oh, this is how it's met, but sometimes, like especially with essay questions, we need to know what the other side would say. So that's what my professor has done. It's like, hey, what would this side say? What were you, if you're representing this side, what would this side say? If you're representing the other side, what would that side say? So it's always like this back and forth. So I needed the 2-column to kind of like show me what is a defense and offense, so to say. And like I said, this can be useful for a multiple choice, but this is more so for an essay exam or multiple choice or essay exam, I should say. But it can work. So I will be using that as well, but it just all depends. Let me get back to my whiteboard. Where are you? There you go. So my friends, that's pretty much it and how I'm going to tackle from question to question. I'm going to reason all my questions out loud, and because I'm at home, I can talk as loud as I want versus being in class, so I can reason it out and just attack it in this strategic and formulaic way. And I believe this is going to maximize my performance overall and just question to question. I'm excited. Let's have fun tonight, and can't wait to share with you the results. And I'll be doing my property exam strategy tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that. Stay relentless, baby.